So today I'm working on this one to finish her for a really good friend. She needs to be polished, and she will go probably to an old customer. He is with me for a long time, watching my journey, and yeah. When I was bending the stem, I figured that I remembered actually that some of you guys don't know how the stems are made. The shape more or less, but how we bend them, how to get the curve, and what you need to check before bending. So when the stem is straight, this one is obviously bent, what you need to check before bending is that everything is correct in the airway, so that you have cleaned the airway and you have a sufficient amount of air flowing through the airway. Because if you bend the stem, you will not be able to correct it unless you make the stem straight again, which is kind of pain in the ass, because you will never be able to get it perfectly straight, and that will produce some trouble, you know. Morning coffee. So So you need to first clean everything, you know, drill it, clean it, everything, polish it if you want it, you know. And after you do that, I am personally using a pipe cleaner, and you push the pipe cleaner almost all the way through, or until it reaches the bottom of the pipe. And then what you do, I am personally using this little toy. So it's a Bosch heat gun that can be you know, adjusted temperature wise. And I don't know what the temperature is that I'm using. I know that I have to be a little bit above 9 here. See, just a little bit above 9, and that will give me a perfectly good flame or heat to heat the stems. So what I do when I put the cleaner inside, and you need to be super careful not to heat the button at all, because it will collapse. You need to heat the length of the stem, starting from the thickest parts and concentrating more on the thicker parts if you need to bend them, and going upwards. So, and you stop just before the button. You need to have the button almost cold, because, ask me how I know, if you heat it, it will collapse, and this cleaner will cut a groove on the inside here, and that doesn't look nice. So why are you using a cleaner? Simply because the stems are thin, and when you heat it and bend it, it can happen that the airway collapses and you lose the needed surface where your smoke can go through. So you need something to hold the inside and prevent them from collapsing, you know. So that is why you use this. And usually I'm using the thinner part inside, but sometimes when the stem is different, I choose sometimes not to go all the way through, just here or there, you know. It depends really on the pipe. So here I can go all the way through because the pipe is open, the bend is not hard, so, you know, and it's long enough. So this stem is already bent. How much you need to bend the stem, it's really up to you. What I prefer is to follow something in my mind that tells me, okay, that's good, that's bad. If I want to, how to say it, I tend to bend in this part of the stem, in this part. I don't like to bend too much here because this part of the shank is also almost straight. So I'm trying to mimic actually the curve that you have. What's happened here? Okay. I try to mimic the curvature that you have on the shank and just reverse that on the stem. And you see that this part is almost straight as this part, and you have a bigger curvature down there, like this, there, and you have a little bit bigger curvature here. I don't like to bend it all the way to mimic the shank, simply because when you take the pipe in your mouth, if the stem is bent all the way through to form the perfect shape, that will, when you are smoking it and clenching, that will make your pipe hang a little bit lower. So what I do whenever I'm bending the stem, I like to bend the upper part just a tiny little bit less, you know, to have it a little bit more straight than what I wanted. Because this one, it could be bent a little bit more, like it could go like here, you know, like here, like 5-6 millimeters lower. But I don't do that simply because I know when you clench it, it needs to stay horizontal when you are looking the guy that is smoking a pipe. So I tend to clench it, bend it a little bit less. This is because when you hang it on your upper teeth and when you leave the pipe rest on your lip, that hold will actually be a perfect hold to have the pipe horizontal, you know. So that is why I tend to bend it a little bit less than what I would actually like. And yeah, that will turn into a really nice pipe. Green stem, cocobolo, and Italian briar, and a little bit of finesse. So there you go. That's how you, well, actually that's how I bend the stems. You can use also something else for heating up. I have seen people using open flames. I have been using lighters before, not the torch one, but the ones with the flame. That lighter would be actually really good for bending the stem because I cannot get the flame lower than this. So it will be a really good one because it has a really good flame that I cannot use, unfortunately, for pipes, but for lighting the pipes, but I can use it for bending the stems. But the problem with open flames is that they sometimes leave the charring on top of the stem. So many years ago I went for this one because this is only hot air, and it works perfectly for me. You can, you know, really put the heat where you want to have it, and you can go close to the button and not like with the flame where you cannot. Flame can also burn your thinner parts of the stem, so you need to be really careful with flame. This is, in my opinion, way better. So that is what I'm using for my stems. So this one is bent. I need to polish it and finish the pipe. So why I'm telling you all this is simply because I strongly feel that every pipe smoker needs to know how to bend his stems, because sometimes it may happen that you leave your pipe, I don't know, some guys did that, to leave the pipe in your car where it's hot during the summer or somewhere else, I don't know, and those stems then go, partially straight, they straighten themselves, and or bend in other way, like not going in line but on the side, because you leave a pipe on the dash or somewhere. I don't know, I won't do that because I know it's bad for your wood, for example, if you are talking just about briar. But I don't know, some guys maybe don't know that. So yeah, that will ruin the shape of the stem, so you need to know, as a pipe smoker, also, in my opinion, how to bend the stem and correct it in position, So, yeah, I managed to finish her, and this is how she looks like. Pretty awesome. I need to cover the inside with the paste, but the grain is really nice, and overall she will be really good smoker, I think. Super nice. I'm happy with her. So I finished that one, and I have a couple of more that I want to show you that I finished last week, and some of them are already sold, and there are some that are still waiting. I think only 2 of them are still waiting. So without talking too much, this is the first one. She was sort of an order. It's a reverse calabash, rusticated, nothing too much special, but still a really good smoker. And above all, the order was to make a reverse calabash that is rusticated so that it doesn't cost too much, and she will sit in the hand really well. You can hold it like this, or like that, and yeah, she should be an awesome little smoker. Head is from briar, the rest is ebonite, and not too much talking, not too much to be said about that one. The next one is already sold, and she will be in the mail today. That's an interesting one. If you think the stem is black, well, it's not. It has little flakes that you can see under the light, little flakes of red, and they probably don't show here. But, she will be a nice smoker. This one is in the process of selling, or let's say it like that. She is still not bought, but a guy said he will buy it, so I think he will. Nice little pipe. Going with classics these last few weeks, experimenting with those to see, to see how that will go. They are a sort of a challenge, simply because you need to fulfill the shape and measures you need to have for classic pipes, so this is a challenge. What happened with the lighter? Anyway, this one, that's a crazy one. She is also bought. She will be in the mail today, going to her or his new owner. That's a cap that goes inside, it's glued, and I use that to enlarge the reverse calabash chamber that is here, because if you are drilling with a drill bit, the drill bit is not flat like this unless you are using a Forstner bit, and I didn't, so I covered the last few millimeters. I put a hole inside and covered it from the bottom, simply to have a little bit more cubic millimeters of smoke inside of that chamber, just to cool it a little bit more, just that. So I thought it looks good. It's kind of crazy shape, but I suspect she will be, you know, like, and she is not standing fully, you know, in line. She's a little bit slanted, actually. She looks like this. So when you put it in your mouth, it will be a little bit off center, and you know, everything else is also off center, so why not that too? So yeah, this is the pipe, and kind of crazy, you know me. This one I finished, and she is still available. She is one of my favorites from the bunch, actually, and she has a little bit of the briar bark on top, and yeah, the grain is also really nice. False ivory vintage from Stanwell, ebonite from Germany, and briar is from Italy. Nice little smoker, I think. A little bit chubby on the bottom, but at least you will have something to hold on, you know. And in compared to this one, she is not that big. See, she is really, I think, having a good measures, you know. And the last but not the least is a little freehand I made from Chris Kelly's stem material. This is not Arvarin, it's Elfarin. I think it's called the Green Mamba or something like that, and she has really nice, as you can see, really nice pattern. And the head, it's a little bit crazy, but she sits in the hand really nicely, and I wanted to go with a little bit darker color, because I'm not making such colors that often. So she's basically brown, you know, brown, and underneath you have grain popping out. Not crazy, also a little bit bark, but still very, very nice, in my opinion at least. So yeah, I hope she will find a nice home. And as you can see, she is not that slanted, so the angle is quite okay. Even if she looks like she's pretty much forward, she is not that much forward. It's just an optical illusion, I think. Okay, so these are the pipes that I have made, as I said. Some of them are sold. I have too many notes. Sometimes when I'm sanding, I remember something, and when you sand pipes, you have a lot of time to think and reflect, and sometimes an idea or something pops in my mind, and I know that at that very moment I need to record it if I want to have it good, but I cannot record it at that time, so I make a note and it never turns out right when I'm recording that note, because that was not the right moment to do it. So too many notes and not enough recording. That's the reality. Guys, have fun, and yeah, talk to you soon. Bye bye.